Hi, what's up? It's Rojo. Thank you for clicking on this video. Maybe you're hoping to be enlightened on non-binary people. So, thank you. Or maybe you're here to make fun of me. Whatever the case, thanks for giving me some of your time. This video is just going to talk about how non-binary people are really a small part of the population, and just because they are not as common doesn't mean that we don't exist. My intentions for this video are just, if you can, by the end of this video, have a different view on your gender fluidity, your friend's gender fluidity, or just want to be ignorant about it still, then at least I respect you more for reading up on it and having an opinion, even if it's one that I don't agree with. So let's talk about gender fluidity. So this is for more gender fluid people, but it's definitely on the spectrum and under the umbrella that non-binary people are. I wanted to talk about how there are similarities. I know the argument is that there's a binary, there's only two sexes, and with those sexes are the only two genders that you can choose from. And I wanted you to see it from a different perspective. So not everything's concrete for non-binary people, and that's why being non-binary is somewhat like food cravings. Similar to the gender spectrum, everyone has taste buds that range from sweet, sour, umami, salty, and bitter. And the gender spectrum is obviously way more than that, but it's still a spectrum, just like in food. Everyone has grown up differently and been introduced and had the opportunity to have different kinds of food. Similar to gender, your experiences through life are all different and out of your control. But the one thing that you can take from it is what you like. Our taste buds are just as unique as our fingerprints, similar to the DNA that makes us up. Preferences in our food is comparable to our gender expression and our gender identity. Why, you ask? When you're little, our parents quickly figure out what you like and what you dislike. Most of the time, it's pretty stereotypical throughout childhood. All you want is candy and everything that's bad for you when you're little. And you usually have a disdain for vegetables. That's just expected of you. Wouldn't it be weird for your child to look you in the eye and tell you that they've been eyeing that 2016 Prophecy dry white grape wine that's been in your cellar for quite a while now? That would be kind of weird. Why would they want that? They're only 8. One day, you'll accept that they'll want your wine, but just not today. Similar with non-binary people, gender is always changing. One day you might want strawberry ice cream, and the next you'll want something salty because it's just how you feel. Just like cravings, non-binary people feel a whole mix of the genders on the spectrum at different times. This should be normalized. One day we feel more like a man, one day we feel more like a woman, or one day we feel like a manly woman.
Disclaimer, these are only small examples of feelings a non-binary person is able to identify with, as there are much more gender identities. Similar to our thumbprint, everyone's gender identity can differ as well. It makes sense since the combination of DNA created from our parents are completely random and no person is the same.
It's so diverse, and it's more than just feeling like what you were given at birth or what is considered normal gender. We might be okay with Brussels sprouts because it's all our parents fed us growing up, But one day we're going to grow up and we're going to try out different foods that we like. Just like gender, we are taught of only a select few, two, if we want to be specific. We find out that there are other pronouns that make us happy inside. You can't explain why you have these cravings, you can't see these cravings, or why you like a certain food over another. You just believe a person when they tell you what foods they like and what foods they don't like. For example, pizza. Pizza is a universally loved food. Everyone loves pizza. It's the default that everyone goes to because you normally can't go wrong. But one day, you're going to run into someone that says they don't like pizza, that they hate pizza. So do you tell them, but everyone loves pizza, you must be lying, or that they are only pretending to hate pizza for attention? So yeah, I go by they, them pronouns. You're only using they pronouns to look special. It's just... Yeah? Well, it's just a preference. I prefer it if you stick to one gender. I mean, I'd prefer it if you weren't ignorant, but here we are. Do you invalidate them because they live outside of the norm of pizza lovers? No, of course not. That's silly. Maybe you want to eat pizza your whole life, and that's cool. Don't know if it's healthy, but it's an option for some people. Similar with gender, people are okay with the gender they were born with, and they don't feel the need to change it. Non-binary people with their gender feel a certain way, and then the next they don't. If we can respect something like the change of our cravings, then why is feeling the desire to change our gender and our gender expression such a big deal? If something so simple as food cravings is respected, then why do we laugh at people that crave a different pronoun than the ones that were given at default if it makes them happy? Why should we respect someone's pronouns just because they prefer a choice that's not preferred by most of the general population? Well, it's just because they like it. There's no other reason. Similar with pronouns, when a non-binary person is called a pronoun that they do not identify with, it feels like what bitter tastes like. It's unpleasant. I'm not telling every single stranger. I understand if I come off more masculine or feminine, I'm gonna get pronouned accordingly. And I'm not blind to that. The sadness comes from wishing that you were in a world that understood how you were feeling instead of invalidating you when all you wanted to do was try to be happy. You can't see these feelings that a non-binary person is going through, so if they feel comfortable enough to tell you about their pronouns, then you should respect it. The same way that if someone told you they didn't like pizza, why would you drive up to a pizza restaurant and force them to eat pizza? It just doesn't make sense. But hey, you look like someone who likes pizza, so I don't believe you. Gender, just like food, should be universal. From a broad perspective, we're all not different. We're all just humans, learning to coexist with one another. And some of us are making it harder for others, all right? We are all just humans, and at the end of the day, all of us need food. Otherwise, we would die. You should be able to control the food that you eat because it's the food that you like to eat, right? Just like you should be able to control your pronouns because they're the pronouns that you like and they make you feel good. Treating a person lower than another for being different is unnecessary and quite a big problem in the world today because we are all the same. We are focused on what divides us when we should be partaking in what will unite us. Me being non-binary is simply how I feel projected outwards towards the world. But I have hobbies, similarities, interests that are just like the next person. Things that you wouldn't know about me if you didn't take the time to get to know me instead of judging me for how I present myself. If everyone was as accepting of different people as they were with different foods, then the world would be a less violent and happier place. If your friends and family don't accept your cravings, then you should eat with other people. So I hope this helps you understand how non-binary people feel in terms of switching genders, a greater understanding even for the people that experience these changes, because when I was going through it, these changes were so intense, and for everyone to just feel like I was trying to be different or that I was trying to be quirky, it was a hard time because it just feels like your existence angers people when it shouldn't. If you're struggling to come out as non-binary, if you want to show your family members what non-binary is like, go ahead and show them this video. So I hope that this was able to help you, enlighten you if you are watching for yourself, for a friend, for a family member, to be an educated hater, I guess. I hope this was able to provide you with a perspective other than your own if you are a cisgendered person who is just trying to understand your non-binary friend, companion, etc. I read a quote somewhere that said, if you do not have perspectives other than your own, then you live in the world unaware and you lack compassion. So hopefully this spreads more awareness to non-binary people, and that their way of life is just as valid as yours, even if it is different. If you like this content, please subscribe to my Tiny Person channel. Thank you for your time once again, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.